within, they hold me tight. In the dark, I lose my fight.
Chapter 10. The Bitter Jar. Carla arrived at the old Sinclair station right on time. The place was abandoned, the sign faded, and the parking lot cracked with weeds poking through the asphalt. She parked and waited, the last pink sliver of daylight vanishing behind her rearview mirror. She messaged Charlie. "Here." No reply. 10 minutes passed, then 20, then an hour. She sent 2 more messages. Still nothing. He was very late. Just as her nerves began to fray, a vehicle crept by slowly, too slowly, its headlights dragging across the lot like eyes. It didn't stop but circled once. Her stomach tightened. She was just about to start the engine and leave. Not Charlie's truck. A blue sedan. Her phone buzzed. "I'm driving a blue car. Is that you in the parking lot?" She exhaled sharply, her frustration bubbling up. Yes. She didn't bother with more than that, though she was frustrated. Another message arrived. "Follow me. I thought about it. This isn't the best place to leave your car. Got a better spot in mind." Against her better judgment, she followed. Charlie's taillights led her down a narrow, uneven gravel road that wound into the woods. Her tires crunched over loose stone and broken glass as they reached a junkyard at the edge of a chain-link fence, surrounded by twisted piles of rusting metal. "This?" she muttered. "You've got to be kidding." She worried about her tires, the suspension, even just getting stuck, but she'd come this far. Charlie stepped out and greeted her with a crooked smile and a hug, handing her a mason jar. "Peace offering," he said. "Sorry for the wait." She unscrewed the lid and took a sip. It wasn't right, not sweet, not smooth. Bitter on the back of her tongue. She forced it down and handed it back to him, coughing slightly. "Tastes different. Kinda funny." He waved her off. "That one's yours? I can't drink, I'm driving." She blinked. "Since when do you care about that?" Charlie raised an eyebrow, slipping into a self-righteous tone. "Drinking and driving's against the law, Carla. People die that way. It's reckless." The lecture went on longer than it should have. She caught herself zoning out, the edges of her thoughts already getting fuzzy. He sounded like David, but worse. "I get it," she said softly. "You're right." But her mind ticked backward. Hadn't he driven her drunk before? Didn't he encourage her to drink and drive? "Charlie," she said, squinting at the jar. "Seriously, what is this?" He looked at the jar like he just noticed it. "Shit, that's not the one I meant to give you. I had the updated Carla's banana split ready. Must have grabbed the wrong one in the rush." The words Carla's banana split made her grin, even through her dizziness. He had named it after her. That was enough to silence her doubts. She took another drink, and another. The more she drank, the less she cared. The drive to the cabin was long. Charlie refused to use her music playlist, brushing it off with, "It's late, no noise." He wouldn't stop for food. Barely let her use the bathroom, and only when he needed gas. She ended up fumbling through weeds on the side of the road in the dark, hoping not to trip or get snake-bit just to go to the bathroom. "Gotta save time," Charlie muttered repeatedly. "Got a batch brewing back at the cabin, can't let it sit too long." His tone was impatient, cold, but Carla barely noticed. The moonshine had settled into her bloodstream, leaving her warm and detached. Dull. Her head swam. When they finally arrived, she blinked through the haze, expecting something out of a storybook like Charlie had described. What she saw was a far cry from that. The cabin was small, dark, and looked half abandoned. The porch sagged slightly, the windows were dusty, and as soon as Charlie stopped the car, she stumbled out and vomited onto the ground. She thought she heard Charlie say with a laugh, "That's a good girl holding it in till we stopped." She barely registered the words. Charlie walked around and offered his hand. She took it weakly. You okay? He asked. I think I drank too much, she mumbled. That's okay, let's get you inside. Inside was worse, musty, dimly lit, and cold. No welcome, no comfort. He pointed to an old couch. Lay there. Carla did as she was told, too sick to argue, too tired to care. Charlie locked the door behind them. I'll see you when you wake up, he said. No blankets, no water, no concern. David wouldn't treat her this bad. Not even close. But she was too far gone to think much about it. She closed her eyes, and the world went dark. Carla woke to the sound of Charlie's voice and the pounding throb of a headache splitting behind her eyes. Her stomach twisted violently like she'd eaten something rotten, and her mouth tasted bitter and dry. She sat up slowly, groaning. I feel awful. I think I'm sick. Charlie didn't flinch. He didn't ask what was wrong. He didn't offer help. He just stood there chewing a sandwich and shrugged. We've got a busy day. You'll be fine. She blinked, still foggy. The smell of his food turned her stomach. Maybe a little food would help, she murmured, barely able to lift her head. Charlie gestured toward the kitchen with the half-eaten sandwich in hand. Fridge is over there. I'm not your slave. The words hit her like a slap. She had said those same words to David before, dismissive, cold. Now hearing them used against her felt different, wrong. The thought passed quickly as nausea surged. She pushed herself up, stumbling toward the sink, the only place she knew she could throw up without making a mess. Her body convulsed. Charlie watched her from the other room. Come on, he called flatly. You're wasting daylight. I'm letting you ride my boat so we can fish. Too sick and weak to protest, Carla wiped her mouth and followed. Every step was slow, dizzying. Her legs didn't feel like hers. When they reached the lake, disappointment sank in deeper. It was nothing like he had described. It wasn't scenic or peaceful. It was muddy, narrow, and barely bigger than a pond. A good cast could hit the other side. The smell was horrible, the smell of death. And the boat? Just a rusty rowboat with a barely working electric motor. Charlie, humming to himself like the happiest man alive, helped her in and handed her a rod. You're having fun, he said firmly. You're lucky to be here. No one's better than me, Carla. She leaned over the side, trying to throw up again. Nothing came, just dry heaving and cold sweat. He rolled his eyes. Stop faking it. His words barely registered. Carla was too sick to think straight. All she could picture was her own bed, warm blankets, a glass of water, David sitting beside her, checking her temperature, asking if she needed to go to the doctor. She missed it, all of it. She missed David. Charlie eventually helped her out of the boat, not gently, but urgently, and dragged her to what he proudly called his moonshine operation. She expected something impressive after how much he talked about it. Instead, it looked like a shed. He waved at a few dusty containers and racks lined with old mason jars. This is it. This baby's gonna make me rich. She blinked slowly, her vision spinning. From what she could tell, all he did was dump flavor packets into store-bought moonshine and slap his custom labels on the jars. Kool-Aid and sugar. That's all it was. Everything looked dirty, disgusting. She tried to stay upright, but her body gave out. She collapsed to the floor. Charlie didn't check on her. He just pulled her up roughly and kept rambling as he forced her to walk back to the cabin, one stumbling step at a time. He never stopped talking, not once. Not when she tripped. Not when she gasped for breath. Once inside, he ran a bath and pointed at the tub. Clean yourself up. You stink. My women need to smell good. Then he left her. The bath helped. The hot water seemed to push some of the sickness out of her. After her bath, Charlie returned, this time with a sandwich. She was too hungry to refuse it. Sorry about earlier, he said casually. Should have made you one from the start. Carla took it without comment, chewing slowly. It was bland and dry, nothing like he had earlier, but it helped. It had been over a day since she'd eaten. Maybe that was all it was, just an empty stomach. She started thinking more clearly. The haze in her head began to fade. Charlie sat across from her in the living room, smiling again, joking like he used to. For a little while, it almost felt normal. Almost. Maybe the cabin wasn't so bad. She felt herself drifting again, sleep pulling at her. Charlie stood, still smiling. Bedtime. He helped her to her feet and guided her to his bed. She was very tired, but as he began to touch her, she weakly said, "Not tonight. I don't feel good." His expression changed instantly. The warmth vanished. He grew aggressive, resentful. "I do all this for you," he hissed. "I waited. I gave you this whole day. I made you a sandwich." She tried to sit up. "Charlie, please. This is the life, huh? I'm the best thing that ever happened to you." Something about him, his scent, the heat of his body, the weight of his words, was unbearable. His body odor was foul, almost sickly, and it turned her stomach. This wasn't love. This wasn't desire. This was the worst moment of her life. And her body responded the only way it could. She threw up all over the bed, and everything went dark.
You said I'd be a queen here, that I'd never feel alone. But the smile I had is gone, and this house ain't a home. I traded truth for comfort, and love for something cheap. Now the price of all my choices keeps me waking far from sleep. This isn't what I pictured when I ran. I closed one door, thought I had a plan. Thought I left the prison far behind, but freedom's just a word when you're blind. Now I'm locked inside a life I fear, and I can't find the key. It's another kind of cage, and it swallowed. But I'm heavy with regret. Now every mile I drove away is a mile I can't forget. This isn't what I pictured when I ran. The open sky turned